This is Algebra 1, Lesson 7, Practice. We're going to simplify these problems, and we're going to use the strategies we learned in the previous videos for Lesson 7. I am going to show circling the enclosures. If you don't need to do that, if you have practiced enough that you understand how to do it without it, that's fine, but check your answers against these or in your solutions manual. The opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. I'm going to insert a plus sign, and then here I have the opposite of negative 4, which is a positive 4. Now I'm going to combine. I have two positives, so I add them, get 7, and I keep the same sign. So the answer to A is 7. Here I see that there's this part, and then here's another part. I'm going to simplify this as saying adding a negative we know is like having a negative 5. Insert addition. This is negative 6, but take the opposite of it, so that'd be a positive 6 plus a positive 6 is plus a positive 6. Now, I don't have negatives to combine or positives to combine. I have one of each. So when I combine these, I need to go ahead and subtract their absolute values and get 1 and keep the sign of the one that has the largest absolute value, which is 6, and it's positive, so the answer is positive 1. C, I have a thing here, a thing here, a thing here, a thing here, and here. Simplify this. I have the opposite of positive 6, which would be negative 6. I have the opposite of negative 8, which would be, insert a plus sign, positive 8. Insert a plus sign. This is just positive 7. Here, insert a plus sign. I have the opposite of negative 3, which is positive 3. Insert a plus sign. I have adding a negative 5, which is a negative 5. Now I'm going to combine my negatives. I get negative 11. I'm going to combine my positives. I can add them in any order I want, and I can see here that it makes a 10, and I like making 10s because it's easier to add 10 to things. So 7 and 3 make 10, then we can add the 8 to it. That's going to be plus positive 18. Now I'm adding things that have different signs, so I subtract them and I get 7, and I take the sign of the one with the largest absolute value, and I get positive because of the 18 is positive. So the answer is positive 7. One more. Here's D. Here's an item, another, and another. Okay? So I'm going to say the opposite of negative 3, which is positive 3. Insert addition. This is negative 4, but the opposite of that would be positive 4, and then the opposite of that would be negative 4. Insert an addition. Negative 6, take the opposite of it would be positive 6, and then that's plus positive 6. Now I'm going to combine my positives, and I get 9, and bring down my negative, which is negative 4. I'm going to combine things that have different signs, so I subtract their absolute values, and I take the sign of the one with the largest absolute value, which is 9, and it's positive. So my answer is 5.